The movie begins in a dense, quiet forest where Little Red Riding Hood walks alone toward a neighboring kingdom, unaware that this land is ruled by a cruel belief. Beauty determines value. Along the path, she is suddenly stopped by a peculiar witch named Barbara, who bluntly insults her shoes and warns her that in the kingdom ahead, ugly people are mocked, ignored, and treated like nothing. Red Riding Hood tries to move on, but Barbara insists on helping, convinced she can fix the shoes with magic. Barbara's spell goes terribly wrong, covering the shoes in mud instead of improving them. Furious, Red Riding Hood storms off to a nearby river to clean them, while Barbara casually admits she's still learning how to make beautiful things. As Red Riding Hood scrubs the shoes, the current suddenly pulls them from her hands, sweeping them away. Left barefoot and annoyed, she abandons Barbara and continues her journey on foot. Not long after, Red Riding Hood notices a young woman in the woods wearing her missing shoes. The girl is quietly burying something in the ground. Approaching her calmly, Red Riding Hood asks for the shoes back, and the girl, Cinderella, returns them without hesitation. Their conversation reveals that Cinderella is gentle, timid, and deeply lonely, and she explains that she was burying her beloved pet pigeon. As Cinderella speaks, Red Riding Hood experiences a strange vision, sensing pain and cruelty surrounding the girl. When she asks directly, Cinderella admits the truth. Her stepmother and stepsisters treat her like a servant, forcing her to wear ugly clothes so no one will take her seriously. In this kingdom, ugliness is not just mocked, it's punished. Cinderella explains that her stepmother believes ugly people deserve suffering, and her stepsister Margot recently killed her pigeon without remorse. Red Riding Hood notices cuts and wounds on Cinderella's legs, and Cinderella reveals she got them while being sent into thorn-filled forests to gather food. Despite everything, Cinderella still dares to dream of attending the royal ball. The ball, she explains, is where the prince will choose a bride. Cinderella says she doesn't even mind marrying a stranger if it means escaping her life. She believes the prince is different, someone who doesn't judge people by appearances. But reality quickly crushes her hope. She has no dress and no shoes since her slippers were thrown away by her stepsister. Just as despair sets in, Barbara reappears and offers her magic once more. This time, she succeeds in transforming Cinderella's rags into a stunning gown. However, Barbara admits shoes aren't her specialty. Her niece Tekla soon arrives and creates enchanted glass slippers that will last only 24 hours and fit only the first person who wears them. With magic in full effect, a rat is turned into a man named Paul, and a pumpkin becomes a carriage. As they head toward the palace, Cinderella thanks Red Riding Hood. Overwhelmed by gratitude and hope, they realize they only have 6 hours before the magic fades. But for now, Cinderella feels like her life is finally beginning. Their joy is shattered when the carriage suddenly stops. Paul claims he hit someone on the road. When they step out, they discover the lifeless body of Mr. Hans, the royal hairdresser. Cinderella breaks down, blaming herself for insisting on going to the ball, convinced her wish has brought disaster. Red Riding Hood remains calm and observant. A sudden vision reveals something important. Hans's boots are muddy in a way that suggests he was dragged there. Red Riding Hood concludes that Hans was already dead before the carriage struck him. Faced with a terrible choice, she decides they must continue to the ball, believing it would be unfair to sacrifice Cinderella's future. Hans's body is covered, the carriage is cleaned, and they proceed. At the palace, Cinderella freezes when she sees her stepmother and stepsisters, but Red Riding Hood reassures her that magic hides her identity. Meanwhile, Anne, one of the stepsisters, nervously prepares to impress the prince, having recently sacrificed her long hair. The king arrives and orders Prince Gilbert to choose a bride. Though uncomfortable with the idea, Gilbert walks among the guests and unexpectedly chooses Cinderella to dance. As they move together, he calls her beautiful, and for the first time in her life, Cinderella truly believes it. The moment is shattered when guards announce that Hans's body has been found near the palace road. The king orders every carriage inspected for blood. Cinderella panics, but no evidence is found. An autopsy reveals Hans was struck twice, suggesting murder before the accident. Further investigation uncovers a bloodied stone and locks of women's hair in Hans's home. It's revealed that Hans had a habit of cutting women's hair against their will. 5 women are named suspects, including Anne, and the atmosphere turns tense and fearful. Red Riding Hood boldly interrupts the investigation, challenging the official theory. She asks Anne to recount her encounter with Hans, and Anne admits he forcibly cut her hair, claiming the prince preferred it short. Every other suspect confirms the same lie, forcing Gilbert to admit Hans deceived them all. Anne then reveals she overheard Gilbert arguing with Hans earlier that day. Gilbert admits Hans was blackmailing him over a dark secret involving the king's crown and a servant girl named Remy who vanished. The king, enraged and suspicious, orders Gilbert arrested despite his son's pleas of innocence. As Gilbert is taken away, Red Riding Hood quietly examines the surroundings and notices a thorn on the palace floor. When she learns Gilbert's clothes were new, she presents the thorn as proof he had been walking near a thorn-covered hill, matching his alibi. Gilbert is freed, but time is slipping away. Realizing the magic is about to expire, Red Riding Hood and Cinderella flee the palace. Cinderella trips and loses one glass slipper behind. Gilbert watches helplessly as she disappears into the night, holding on to the slipper that may lead him back to her. When the magic fades, Cinderella's gown vanishes, but one glass slipper remains unchanged. That night, Margot suddenly appears at Cinderella's house, begging for help while fleeing the guards. She confesses to killing Hans, claiming she woke up beside his corpse with a stone in her hand. Margot admits dragging Hans's body to the road to frame someone else. Red Riding Hood appears to betray her, handing her over to the guards. But when a broken glass slipper heel falls from Margot's dress, Red Riding Hood realizes the truth and keeps it to herself. The next day, Prince Gilbert arrives to test the glass slipper. Cinderella tries it on, and it fits perfectly. Everyone believes she is the chosen bride, until Red Riding Hood suddenly accuses Cinderella of murder, shocking everyone present. Red Riding Hood explains that Cinderella met Hans earlier, hoping he could make her beautiful. When Hans tried to harm her, she killed him with a stone. To escape blame, she framed Margot by sending a fake letter and knocking her unconscious, unaware the slipper heel broke during the struggle. Cinderella's lies collapse as her enchanted shoes revert to normal, confirming her guilt. She is arrested, her dream destroyed by her own actions. Justice finally catches up to the girl who once seemed like the perfect victim. Red Riding Hood then reveals the truth about Remy, explaining she was scarred by Hans and forced into hiding. When Remy is brought forward, Gilbert embraces her without hesitation, proving that real love sees beyond beauty. They reunite, heal old wounds, and later marry. In the end, Red Riding Hood is honored for her intelligence and courage. As she quietly leaves the kingdom, justice restored and secrets exposed. The story reminds us that beauty can deceive, but truth always survives. If you enjoyed this epic fairy tale mystery, like the video, subscribe to Great Animation Recaps. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another recap. Drop your thoughts in the comments and keep watching for more powerful animated stories.